Hey pals, welcome back to the Disney Magical Mindset Podcast. My name is Ruben, your Disney Magic mentor, and I'm here to help you unlock the magic within so you can create your own happiest place on earth. I'm so glad you're here today because I want to talk to you about something I know you've experienced before because I've experienced it as well. What do you do when the magic fades? What do you do when you leave a Disney park and you know that feeling when the magic just kind of seems different? But what do you do in your own life when that spark that once lit up your dreams suddenly feels dim and your motivation just seems to disappear? You know, you had this drive, this passion, this excitement for something big or maybe even something small, and then it just kind of fizzled. And you're in that space right now where you just don't know what to do. You know what I'm talking about, and maybe you're even feeling it right now. You've been so excited about a dream. Do you remember that? Maybe a new goal, a big change in your life, or something you were working toward. And then somewhere along the way, the fire or the magic just seemed to burn out. You start waking up with less excitement. The to-do list feels heavy and like a burden. You wonder, where did the passion go? What happened to that magical feeling that I felt when I first started? I want you to know you are not alone. Even the greatest dreamers, and I'm talking about Walt Disney, who I have a strong passion and joy over my hero, Walt. I mean, he hit that place. And so that's one of the things that actually encourages me when I go through those valleys, through those moments when it just doesn't seem to click. I want you to know today, you're not alone. We've all been there. And if you're not there right now, at some point you will be. And so I hope that this podcast episode will encourage you and it'll be one that you'll go back to often to give you that spark that you need to keep going. Are you ready? Because here we go. Peter Pan is my favorite Disney character. In fact, I hope that if you've been following along my magical adventures and you've been part of this awesome Disney fun with me, you probably know this by now. In fact, I spent an entire episode, my very first podcast episode to start the year with Peter Pan. So you can always check that out. But you've probably heard this before. This is actually from the book Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it. Wow. Isn't that so powerful? I've said this before, and I think it's one of these thoughts that bears repeating, and that is the pixie dust is in you. The magic to fly to Neverland is not just about the pixie dust, because you are the pixie dust. Like the pixie dust is in you. And when Peter Pan takes Wendy, Michael, John to Neverland, the only way they get off the ground first is by thinking of a wonderful thought. Any happy little thought? Remember that part? And there's so much power there. It's this idea that you and me have to believe first. And one of the things that kills motivation is when we stop believing in ourselves, isn't it? And Peter Pan, he knew the secret to flying wasn't just like having wings, or it wasn't simply pixie dust. It was belief. And I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over again because I think it's so true. You don't have to live in Neverland in order for Neverland to live in you. And the way you do that comes down to belief. When you start to lose motivation, simply ask yourself, this is what I want you to do. Have I stopped believing in myself? And chances are you have. That's just the time probably when doubt creeps in, or maybe guilt, or, where you just feel bad about not keeping your promises that you made to yourself. And so you start to just doubt whether you can actually do this. And this is the easiest way to sink yourself and keep you from flying. I mean, you cannot get off the ground if you don't believe you can. Do you hear what I'm saying? You can't get to that Neverland or to that place where you can actually accomplish your goals and your dreams and do those things that you know you were meant to do if you can't think of the happy thoughts, the wonderful thoughts. It is the easiest way to keep you grounded. And this is so powerful because here's the truth that you've got to embrace today. If you're ever going to change, if you're ever going to gain or regain momentum, you ready for it? You got to remember this. You do what you do because of what you think of you. What you think of you is the reason why you do what you do. Doubt weighs you down. Belief lifts you back up. So be encouraged, hang in there, because this is what we're talking about today. How to get back up, how to lift our spirits by believing in ourselves and also remembering Tiana from The Princess and the Frog. She's one of the most hard-working characters, princesses Disney's ever given us. I mean, she has a clear vision of what she wants, right? She was doing everything right, grinding, sacrificing, staying focused, but she still hit roadblocks. She lost her way. I mean, in the most literal, kind of weird way, but she became a frog. And at one point, she almost gave up. She was discouraged, as anyone would be. Are you discouraged today? Do you feel this way? And what brought her back wasn't some magical jolt of motivation. It was remembering, this is so important, why she started. This why thing is so critical. It's so important. And think about this for a moment. Just hang in there with me. Why do so many people start with good intentions, but then they fail to follow through? Especially those resolutions. I mean, how are you doing with those resolutions, by the way? If you started resolutions at the beginning of the year, you chose to make some. You know that a study of about 800 million Americans found that New Year's resolutions die on average by January 19. And you want to know the reason why? Because the resolutions are the result of desire, not devotion. Those are two different things. A desire can feel strong. I think we all have strong desires for certain things. We want to be better. We want to accomplish certain things. We want to do things in life. But it's typically shallow and it's fleeting. Devotion to a why goes so much deeper. And without a compelling why, this is so true. You're not likely to stay consistent. When you look at how cool, Tiana's story is and the way that it ends, isn't it beautiful? This why that she was so committed to, that caused her to stay consistent, to achieve those dreams, because she understands wishing upon a star is only going to get Tiana. It's only going to get her so far. She knows there's consistency and discipline and work ethic. And at the very end, she fulfills this dream. Her father always wanted to open up this restaurant, but he couldn't do it, right? For financial reasons and for other things in the movie. But Tiana knows this why is so deeply, it ignites her in her soul that she wants to honor her father. So she creates something beautiful and meaningful, and that's what reignites her. And I'm telling you, when you have a strong enough why, it will reignite you. It will cause you to be motivated again. And so when you're feeling a certain way, if you want to be motivated and grow in consistency, you have to start with why. What change do you want to see in your life? And maybe that change is, you want to be healthier. You want to have a better marriage, or you want to quit a bad habit. You need to stop, or maybe you want to have a closer friendships, or maybe a closer relationship with your kids, or maybe more financial stability. I don't know what it is. That's all good. It's great. Those are all good things, aren't they? But then I would come, if you were to talk to me about this stuff, I would say, but why? Why do you want this? Why do you want it? And I'm telling you, the way you reignite that motivation is to define your why. That's where your passion comes from. When you understand your why, that's what wakes you up in the morning. That's what gets you excited. That's what keeps you going. Go back to the why, and it will reignite your passion and your motivation. Here's what I want you to catch today. This is so important. If you forget anything that I'm saying today, please don't. But you could always go back, which is the great thing. But here's something that's so important for you to get. Motivation is a feeling. Momentum is a force. Woo, it's a force to be reckoned with. You might not feel like doing the thing, But if you can take just one small step, you'll start to feel the energy building, right? Don't wait for magic. You are the magic. And I keep saying it because it's so true. So you can create it, right? You have it in you. Don't wait for inspiration. I mean, I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you continue to be part of this podcast and this motivational, magical mindset. I love what I do, but I want you to know that it's one thing to keep hearing all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you know this. And so you got to act. And guess what? It will follow. You do the work. It will follow you. So that's why you cannot base this motivation thing as the end all, because it's just a feeling. And sometimes we don't feel a certain way. We don't feel like it. But I'm telling you, watch this. Momentum. Like, I think I can. Come on, Casey Jr. It's a force, and you keep on building that momentum, and it creates this magical energy that pushes you forward. But you gotta just keep doing it. So you're doing great. Keep going. And what I want to do right now is I want to just give you 3 practical mindset, magical, motivational tips and tricks so that you can regain that motivation when it fades, whether it's right now or when it will fade at some point. Here are 3 things that you and me can continue to build into our magical mindset. Number 1, surround yourself with growth-minded people who lift your magic. The right people know how to speak life into you when your spark runs low. You've got to have these people in your life. Think of it like walking down Main Street, USA. I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. Yeah, I hope that put a smile on your face, or maybe just a laugh because of me trying to sing. But you know, Main Street, USA, when you're walking there, you walk into Disneyland, the Magic Kingdom, everyone's smiling. The music is playing. You smell those great smells that are coming through there, walking down Main Street. The energy is contagious. And if your current circle drains you, guess what? You're going to feel like you're pushing uphill. It's not going to feel like the happiest place on earth. It's not going to feel like Disneyland. You're not going to feel like walking down Main Street. So you got to find people who remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. You got to find those, and you have some people. Right now, I want you to think of those individuals in your life who speak life to you, who are growth minded, who themselves are trying to become better and be better. Like you got to find those people. And I'm telling you, this is so important. And I want to say something, it might not be easy, but there's some people in your life that are draining that magic from you. And you've got to make some tough decisions, because those people are going to keep pushing you away from the magic. And sometimes you just got to, not sometimes, you got to let these people go, because eventually what happens is they take you down with them. They drain your magic and your energy, and they keep you from flying to Neverland. And your why and what you've got going on in your life is so important to stop pursuing things that mean everything to you, that you were destined for, because of some people who are in your life, maybe for seasons. And it's like, you know, sometimes you just got to say, I'll see you later. Remember, it's hard to stay in Neverland or to fly off to Neverland when the people you associate with are still riding with Captain Hook, are on that pirate ship. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You're either going to be flying to Neverland and living in Neverland with Peter Pan, or you're going to be with Captain Hook. You got to choose. Who are you going to associate with? And who you associate with will determine the magic that you experience and that you give. And speaking of these associations and connecting with people that just lift you up and that speak life and pour into you, I want to let you know that I'm working on ways that I can do this, you know, on a more personal level. Like, I want to be that person that can help you and encourage you and inspire you. But, you know, like more like stuff that we do online together, one-on-ones, like workshops, mastermind groups. I'm working behind the scenes. So, hey, get there. I've got some great stuff coming later this year, and I can't wait to share it with you. And of course, I'll share some more as we get closer. All right. I appreciate you. The second thing you can do to regain your motivation when it fades is all about momentum. You've got to create momentum. Remember that motivation is simply a feeling. Momentum is a force. It's a force to be reckoned with. You don't need a perfect plan. And sometimes we always feel like we have to have it perfect, or we have to know the way it's supposed to end, or we have to have everything in order. But all you need is the next step. All you need is the next step. And I know this because I've been there. I've felt this way. Sometimes I want to have it all right, and I want to have everything perfect, and I want to know exactly what I'm supposed to do and how it's all supposed to come together and look. But the reality is that if you wait for that, you're going to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. All you need is the next step. I want to encourage you. You don't need to have it all figured out. Let that go. Let it go. Thank you, Elsa. Just let it go. Just take one small step today. That's what I want you to do. One small step today. And then guess what you do the next day? Another small step. And the next day, another small step. That's the key. That's the key to building momentum. It's just doing that one small step every day. That thing that you want, the goal, the dream, that the thing that you're strong enough why that we talked about earlier. You just do it every day. Take that one step. And maybe today it's all about a call that you have to make, or maybe it's the project that you keep putting off and you're like, no, you know what, today I'm going to start. And then the next day I'm going to do again something that's going to help me, build towards this project. Or maybe it's just writing down your goal again. You started off early in the year, you had this goal and you're like, I want to do this. And you kind of let it go. Maybe today you just need to write down that goal. That's it. And then tomorrow, go from writing it down, that goal, or reading it, to actually putting things in action, doing something, just anything gets you moving in the right direction, right? You're not going to get off the ground and fly to Neverland unless you actually, one, believe, we talked about that, and you actually start flying and going for it. Remember, this is so important. When you keep doing the same thing every single day, guess what's going to happen? Let's just, for perspective's sake, if you do that same thing every single day that you're supposed to do, take that one step towards your goal every day, where do you think you'll be at the end of the year? Where do you think you'll be at the beginning of the year, next year? That's what I'm talking about. You get to keep what you defend. Do you want to defend your dream, those goals, or your excuses? Busyness, negative thinking, challenges, being in a rut. We're talking about getting out of that. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, what are you going to defend? And I bet you that you want to defend your dream. Deep down inside, that's what you want. That's what I want for myself. That's what I want for you. All right? Momentum creates clarity, and clarity fuels motivation. Let's go. Let's do this. The last thing I want to share with you, number 3, on regaining that motivation when it fades, right? When the magic seems to fade. Here's the third thing. You got to reclaim the strength by remembering what you've already overcome. You are overcomers. You have some amazing wins in your life, and it is so easy when we lose that motivation to just focus on the negative or the bad or the things that we didn't do, and forget about all those wins that we've actually accomplished and that you've got to celebrate. You got to go back to the wins. I guarantee you that you have some amazing wins in your life. That there are some of you who are so resilient, and you've gone through some things and you've overcome, and you are the superhero. Like, you are the magic. And in fact, you could be giving this podcast about your story and how amazing you are. I want you to just take a minute and think about the battles you've already won. Think about the accomplishments that you've already done, the setbacks that you've come through. Walt Disney could have quit, couldn't he? After losing Oswald, he could have quit after going bankrupt. He could have quit when things happened on opening day, when they called it Black Sunday, because it went horribly wrong on opening day. And he could have thrown in the towel, couldn't he? I mean, when people were questioning him building an amusement park, or were telling him that Snow White was going to tank, and he was going to lose his magic kingdom, right? His studios, whatever it was, like that was it. He could have folded, but what did Walt do, right? He chose to believe again. He looked back and he remembered all that he survived. And that's part of the reasons why it's good every now and then to look back, because you look back on the scars, the battle wounds, like those things that you've gone through, and you discover that you are amazing. Like you've gone through a lot and you've come out stronger as a result. And you know that nothing's going to stop you now. Nothing can keep you down because you've already been through it. And so now you just keep pressing into everything that you know you can accomplish because of what you've been through. As we prepare to wrap up today, can I share with you a message I received from a friend of mine that I look up to, and I look at what he's doing and I'm like, man, I want to do that someday. It's pretty cool. But I had reached out to him to just express how I was feeling, kind of losing that motivation and just needing to be inspired and to regain that momentum again. And, this is why, again, it is so important to surround yourself with growth-minded people who lift your magic. And I want to share with you, I want to read a message that he sent me that inspired me and just encouraged me. He said in this message, I want you to know something. You're doing it. You're showing up. You're building something meaningful. You're already grown your IG to over 25,000. He said, that's huge. You launched a new site and a podcast and crossed a milestone most people never reach. 500 downloads of your podcast. That's not nothing. That's real progress, and it's worth celebrating. I needed that. Because sometimes, again, it's so easy to forget those little wins. And to some people, why is it always that those wins seem to be small in our eyes, but then you talk to somebody else and it's like huge? Maybe we need to start reversing and start really believing that these wins are actually big wins. And we don't settle, right? We don't just stay there, but we use them again as motivation to keep us going, to actually see how far we've come and how much opportunity there is there for us if we continue to keep pressing forward. So maybe today you don't feel it. Maybe the dream feels far away, the fire's flickering low, or the magic seems to have faded. But listen, it's what we've been saying. You don't need to feel magical to create magic, because you are the magic. It's in you. So here we go. We're going to wrap it up. Just take one small step. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who take you to Neverland. Move forward, even if it's messy. Keep going every day. And never forget, you've already walked through things that try to break you, and you're still standing. Woohoo! You're still here. You still have so much left in you. You've done so much already. Don't forget all of that and keep going. That's not just resilience. That's magic, my friends. You are the magic. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Man, I felt this one. I mean, I feel all of them, but this one, yeah, I hope that you did too. If this episode helped you, it would mean so much to me if you would share it with someone else who might need just a little encouragement, some extra pixie dust in their life. It would really, really mean a lot to me if you left a review. This helps to get this magical message out there. I believe in so much of what we're doing here that I really want people to hear this. So as always, keep believing, keep dreaming, and remember, you are the magic. I'm going to keep saying it because the magic is in you.